Today's video is going to be challenging for a lot of you because I'm going to be discussing the need to see your karmics, my karmics, our karmics as blessings, as gifts. So without further ado, let's get into it. Hi and welcome to Oak Law Door. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Claire Attio. For those that are returning subscribers, thank you. And as I said in the intro, looking, viewing, holding our karmics as blessings. And before you go, because they have put you through hell and back and you're still working through the trauma and you're still doing the healing, and it's been eons of ish to trudge through. I just want to tell a little story, just a little image that I was given from the divine, and take on the spiritual philosophy that we are all one, that we are all energy, and polarity, that light and that dark, is a earthly construction so that we can gain understanding, and from that understanding we can grow, we can expand, we can excel. And the image that I was actually given was one of tug of war, and you have both teams. You've got two teams there, and you're pulling or you're tugging, and you've got it going across a river, and there's that push pull, push pull, push pull, push pull, and the karmics are on one side, but they're the team that in the spiritual realm have gone, right, okay, I will be that karmic for you so that you can learn that lesson, so that you can step into that power, so that you can grow, you can break that cycle. You can heal that generational ish. And then you have the other side that is pulling away, saying, why are you being so mean? Why are you doing this to me? What is it? I don't understand it. And when you start out on a spiritual journey and you come across karmics, or you start to recognize that you have karmics in your family, and that's a point that I want to get to little way in, is you don't understand it, and you can go into a little bit of poor me, pity me, what's going on. I mean, I know for the longest of time I used to say to the people I love, do I have mug written up here? Is there mug there? Because I felt like people were taking advantage all the time. And yes, they were taking advantage. I was drawing those people into me. I was drawing those karmics into me because I needed to learn the lesson of reciprocity. And they gifted it to me. Was it hard? Absolutely. Was it challenging? Damn right. Were there times when I thought I was never going to bring my head above the water? And that was the image, because I was actually in argument when Spirit gave me this image of tug of war across the river. I was in argument with Spirit, as I sometimes do. And I was saying, well, what about the times when, you've fallen in the river and you're practically drowning and they stand on you? That, you know, and I think I put it in a post, I probably have, you know, when you're face down in the dirt and somebody's got their foot on your neck. And that feels very malicious, very, very malicious. And what Spirit said to me was, they forgot who they are. They became so embodied in that karmic role that they forgot who they are as a soul person. That takes me to situations where we have been dealing with karmics in our family dynamics, because they are exceptionally hard. And I do know, and I have done a video about this, that there have been a lot of talk, some of it in the psychological professional field, that are advocating pull away from your family. And whilst, yes, there are circumstances and incidences where you need to do that for safety reasons, both physically, emotionally, mentally, we need to also remember that we are living in a time where these dynamics are playing out at their worst. And I've said it before, that light and that dark, that duality, how we make understanding, that was not very good English, how we gain that understanding is, as we're anchoring more light, as we are doing the healing, as we are discovering who we are as soul beings and standing firm in that, there is less space for the darkness. And if those that have been playing a karmic role do not awaken or use their free will to choose not to awaken, they are going to be pulling at whatever and whoever they possibly can for survival. The other thing that I was actually shown with that tug of war analogy was that, yes, they may be on the other side of the river still pulling, but it only has an effect if you're still holding on to the rope. If once you've taken your lesson, you let go of the rope and walk away, there cannot be any more pull. It's what we very often, and you would have heard it, a closing of the cycle, a closing of the door. Now, that's not to say that they cannot start a different cycle to awaken. I would actually say, from personal experience, and you will have to feel into this yourself, when you have had karmic family members and when you have had karmic relationships, be that romantic relationships or platonic relationships, there's usually too much history to be able to be effective in guiding them through their awakening. And there will be also lingering energetics that haven't been healed, that you could very well get back into the same dynamics of old. It's that you've taken hold of that old rope without even knowing it. And so the whole push-pull dynamics and that cycle restarts. And so whilst we see them as a blessing, whilst we send them love, there is a very great need to recognize your capabilities, where you are, and whether you can actually See, I can't, my guides are saying, you will have to use your own discernment. I personally don't feel, and it may be because of where I am in my spiritual journey, maybe in 2 years' time I will feel very differently when I've learnt more and expanded more and ascended more. But I'm sorry, I'm just hearing, no you won't. But only time will tell. I don't feel it's a viable option. Do I wish them well? Am I happy to kind of guide them in the right direction so that they can get the help? Absolutely. I've done that before. I've said to people, look, you know, you need some help here. I can't help you. I'm too close to this, but you need help. And I've sent them in the direction. What they do with their time with that therapist is, or that spiritual guide, is purely up to them. But I've always felt when you've had that kind of relationship, there is too much history to be able to be as effective, to be able for them to get the aha moments, because there will always be a little bit of resentment there. But I think the key point was from my team was because I've heard such a lot, and I've talked about karmics as well, and I've talked about, you know, even on the last video I was saying what, you know, the side of the fence that you've been on, and there have been karmics and there have been a lot of issues we've had to clear away, and it's been hard going, and it's very easy to demonize. And I think this is the thing that has kind of really caught me when I've seen it on social media, is that demonization of a fellow human being. Okay, some of the actions that they have taken have been very devilish, and yes, there are, when you get to a certain level, there is a blending between the spiritual realm and the physical realm, and what plays out on one plays out on the other. It does it all the time anyway, but when you get to a certain level, it's very obvious. And so you can actually identify people that are carrying or have been infiltrated by some real nasty fourth dimensional spiritual-ish. Now, I will actually say that spiritual-ish exists from generations of humanity. It's the negativity that we've created because of our thoughts, because of our actions over history. And with that, there are entities that exist because of that. And as I said, the light is permeating a greater expanse of the earth. And so they are wanting to find a host, they are wanting to find a space of darkness, of somebody who is in lower vibrations. And when they find somebody and when they attach themselves, they do everything to keep that person there. And I think that's the other thing to take on board. And I know for empaths and highly sensitives and intuitives, we've all been caught where we've seen the potential of a person, or we've read the soul of that person, and we've forgotten to look at the person in front of us, the physical reality. I've done that many times, and I do have a very childlike heart where I want to see the best in everybody, and I never want that to change. It is a beautiful quality, but it does leave you open to negative energies. It does leave you open to people coming towards you and wanting to take advantage of that. And it's our responsibility. We can't blame other people, because it's our responsibility. Me wanting to be like that means that I have to be extra vigilant with the people that I invite into my life. that doesn't mean I'm always on high alert. It means that I will now watch for the red flags rather than ignore them or pretend I didn't see them, because I don't want to believe that about X, Y, and Z person. That's the reality of where we are. Karmics are and do create a lot of heartache, upset, hideous situations. Sometimes relationships become abusive, whether that be physical, emotional, mental. I'm not talking about going back and allowing those people back into your life. What I'm saying is, if you've gotten or you're getting to a space and a place where you are learning the lessons, you are learning about yourself, you are understanding who you are expanding your consciousness and elevating your consciousness and really stepping into your soul sovereign self, then you have them to thank for it. That's why I said right at the beginning there were a lot of people that won't be happy with this video, because they won't yet be in a place and a space to say thank you. And I'm not saying that you go up to them, knock on their door and say, oh, thank you for giving me all that X, Y, and Z-ish and making my life miserable for X, Y, Z years. It's not about that. And the one thing that I want to say, having said that, is that's a perception. If there has been a dynamic that has been playing out for X amount of years, you, again, we, me, we all have to take responsibility and accountability for allowing that to continue. Nobody can give us stuff if we're not willing to take it. It's a bitter pill to swallow, but it's one we must if we're going to walk our North Node, if we're going to be a soul sovereign being and live in authenticity. We've got to take ownership of our ish. So next time you hear about a karmic, next time there is something said, listen to it by all means. Take the pieces of gems from whatever it is you're listening to. But please don't demonize the souls of those people. They just got lost in the role that they were playing, or they came here to play for you. Doesn't mean that they're going to play it. Some will play it throughout the whole of their life, especially if they're lost. Others will just play it with you because it was needed with you, and then they'll go on and have a lovely life somewhere else with someone else, with different friendships. When we demonize, remember I said about that 4D-ish that we have created from our thoughts over the generations, over the decades, over the centuries. Those entities exist because of demonization of people, of situations. Let's stop doing that. Does it exist at the moment? Yes, it does. Do we need to create more? No, we don't. Let's gain the deeper understanding that we are all one. And so all deserve love. You may not want to be in their circle. You may not want to be 100 miles within their vicinity. And you have that right. But please don't demonize them. Send them love. Put them in your prayers. You cannot attach to the outcome of whatever their free will choices are. And you should not. But you can add them into your prayers daily and say, please, Lord, I hope, I pray that someday they will find themselves. They will reconnect to their soul. They will reconnect to a higher power, the divine, God. So I hope that helps. If you've liked the video, press that like button. If you've not yet subscribed, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so that you are notified when a new video goes live. And share with your friends if you think it will be helpful to them. Until next time, take care. Bye bye.